Okay, this is our notes for geometric sequences. We have this formula for geometric sequences. A sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. And for a geometric sequence, basically you're going to multiply each term by a common ratio to get the next term. So here's the first term, a sub 1. The second term, you take a sub 1, which is the first term, and multiply it by whatever the common ratio is. For the third term, you would take a sub 1 and multiply the common ratio twice. That's the reason why we have this 2 here, and so on and so forth. So whatever term you're looking for, take one away from it because that's this term here, and then you just multiply those together. So a sub 1 is the first term, r is the common ratio, n is the nth term. To find that common ratio, you take the second term and divide it by the first term. So if I take a sub 1r and divide it by a sub 1, the a sub 1's disappear and I get just that ratio. So for example, if we are given the sequence 1/3, 1, 3, 9, 27, they want us to find the first term and the common ratio. So a sub 1 is the first term, which is 1/3. To find the common ratio, we take 1 and divide it by 1/3, which is 3. And that same ratio will hold true for the rest of the sequence. 3 divided by 1 is 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So that's one way you can find the common ratio. Here's a second sequence that they've given us, and they want us to write the nth term. So we look at the first term, 1. So there's a sub 1. The common ratio is 1/2 divided by 1. Well, 1/2 divided by 1 is 1/2. So a sub n is going to be equal to a sub 1, which is 1, times r, which is 1/2, all raised to the n minus 1 power. That is our general formula for this particular sequence. Now, if we want to go all the way out to the 8th term, then we simply substitute 8n for all of the n's. So the 8th term, a sub 8 is the 8th term, is going to be the first term times the common ratio to the 8 minus 1 power, because remember, this is that 1 that we got to subtract off. So 8 minus 1 is 7. This is a straight calculator problem. Put this in as is, and you'll come out with 1/128. We have an equation in number 3 in this example. It says a sequence can be generated by using this equation, and they tell us a sub 1 is equal to 3. They want to know the next 4 terms. So if a sub 1 is 3, we're going to take a sub 2 will be 3 times 7, because that's going to be our common ratio, which is going to be 21. For a sub 3, we take whatever that next one was, multiply it by 7, and we get 147. To get a sub 4, we're going to take this 147, multiply it by 7, and we'll get 1029. As you divide here, this divided by this would be 7, or this times 7 gives you that. So this is our first term, and this is the common ratio. So if they give you that kind of an equation where it doesn't quite look like the same because of not having an exponent, all you have to do is take the first term, multiply it by this number, and then that'll give you the second term. Take the second term, multiply it by that common ratio, and that'll give you the third term, and so on and so forth. So these are geometric sequences for Unit 10, Lesson 3.